as items build up in your inventory, you can do different things with them. You can sell them to an NPC, like this rusty sword, and get a few gold for it. If it's better than your current gear, you can use it. If it's something you want to put on a wall or use it as deco, can certainly do that. You can put it in a trunk and forget about it. You can let it bog down your inventory until you're overweight. You can do all sorts of things with it, but one of the things you can do is salvaging for useful components. So if I come over to a blacksmithing station, in this case, that's where I would salvage stuff like swords, or this rusty plate is a metal plate. Um, but we are able to drag it over here, and we can salvage that as a salvage item. Some things you can't. We can put caltrops on here, but they're actually not salvageable. So if we salvaged all this stuff, nothing would happen to the caltrops. And in fact, see this red salvage button in the lower left? That only lights up if valid salvageable items are on the um, table. So it's not lit up right now. I bring over this bundle of caltrops here, and it still doesn't light up because they're not a valid salvageable. We could run salvage with them on the table. That'll light up. We can hit salvage, and they'll just stay there unharmed. Um, so something like this simple sword is the green bound to account sword that we got when we started. It's not very good. It's got low damage, low strength bonus. It's not a good sword. We upgrade really just as soon as we could to get something worthwhile. And we could, for nostalgia's sake, stick this on the wall and look at it. We could throw it in our bank. It won't take up a bank slot because it's account bound. But really, it's not of very much use unless we salvage it. So we can't even sell it to an NPC because it's a bound item. So if we pulled that off right there, we could see the simple sword. We could just delete it out of our inventory so it doesn't take up room. Or we could salvage it and at least get something out of it. Now, it's only one metal scrap. Items, generally, the lower the value and the lower the durability, the less they give you. And stolen items from the overworld, or from the world, like this shield, which we picked up off the ground, which has a value of 0, generally give you very poor salvage as well. 3 metal scrap off that shield. Let's see if we get any more off one that we dropped off a mob. We got only 1 that time. So, in a case like that, we have a looted one from the overworld, which gave us 3 metal scrap, and that ended up being more than one that dropped off a mob. Any item you salvage is going to give you a range, a possible range of loot off of it. Occasionally, you'll get full pieces, like you might get an entire handle off of a pole arm, or you might get an entire hilt off of a sword. And there'll be a lot of variation for any given item. In general, the higher the value of the item and the higher the durability, the more you'll get off it, or the more likely you are to get a higher tier component. Each production tree that has salvage, so tailoring, carpentry, and blacksmithing, also has a salvaging skill that you can raise that increases the value of items gained during blacksmithing salvage, in the case of this blacksmithing one. The extent to which raising this helps is debated. I don't currently have a kind of hard and fast numbers on that. I haven't done extensive testing on it. I have done extensive testing on the durability. Higher durability does yield more in salvage. This salvaging skill is still kind of up for debate, but if you're doing a lot of salvage, it wouldn't necessarily hurt to raise it. That's for sure. And eventually you'll learn pretty well what salvage is where. And what is even salvageable. So again, those caltrops, we saw that those don't salvage. So we know next time we're going through our inventory, we don't have to pull them on and check. We know they won't salvage. And we'll just go through pretty much when we're done adventuring, especially if you're crafting. The metal scraps, for instance, that's dropping off so much of the blacksmithing salvage is very helpful for making metal ingots. Copper ore, iron ore, they go in and make ingots, but you use twice as many ores to make a single ingot if you don't fill up with a little bit of metal scrap. So they can save a huge amount of resources. You saw we salvaged a couple things there, and we actually got a tungsten ore straight out of one of the items we salvaged. That's actually probably out of that rusty plate we salvaged. So sometimes you get pretty good bonus materials. This tungsten ore is worth 50 gold. That rusty plate wouldn't have gotten us 50 gold if we sold it to an NPC. This tungsten ore would give us at least 40 gold to an NPC, and would give us even more to a player, because that's a valuable ore, or we could save it to make some higher tier ingots. If we run over to the tailoring table, we'd be able to salvage any relevant stuff we had there. So like this leather helm, for instance. We could also salvage this leather helm of love we got. 7.5 dexterity. This is a really good helm. It's giving us some good stat, but if we upgraded our helm, if we bought a newer, nicer, higher stat helm from another player, or we're able to craft one ourselves, we might want to wear that one for the stat, but we might miss the look of this helm with our little candle here. Look at that. It's got a candle. We can be a candle. Wonderful synergy with this helm. We just absolutely love it. We're really attached to it. It's actually an item that can drop an eternal pattern, which is really cool. If we salvage this, we can look by when we mouse over. It says salvage yields pattern, leather helm of love. It actually doesn't drop an eternal pattern. It just drops a regular pattern. So if we salvage that, we will see some leather scrap from the first helm, more leather scrap from the second helm, and this pattern, leather helm of love. We can now apply this pattern to other gear we have in the future if we get a better helm. Some items do drop eternal patterns. Those are patterns that can be over and over again on more and more gear. Other items don't always drop a pattern, but can. So, like if you do higher tier content and kill Kabbalists, and they drop a really cool looking Kabbalist robe, you could put that robe and run around it, put it on and run around it, and look really cool. But it won't have stats on it. It won't have the the int or the dex or whatever you need for your character. So what you could do is you can salvage it, and chances are you'll just get some scraps. But if you get really lucky, you might get a pattern that lets you reshape an existing piece of gear to look like that that robe. So that's another really cool thing that can come out of salvage. So while it is very handy for crafting, you get a lot of crafting supplies. There's reasons people even who don't craft might want to salvage things. And of course, if this bow were a good bow, it would give us better items off of it. For instance, if it were an elven longbow, it would have a chance of giving us maybe a full bow stave instead of just some wood scrap, or even like an imbued elven string of precision, which is a special bowstring that has stats directly on the string, so any bow you make with it will have added stat right off the back. So getting those special components, oftentimes, in the case of like elven bowstrings or elven hilts off swords, you can't get those anywhere except from salvaging. And so special components to make high grade weapons are will only come from salvaging. You might also get some stuff you can salvage, like a rock maple handle off of a bludgeon weapon, for instance. You can craft rock maple handles. The truth is, if you went to craft one, you would use so many resources that chances are you could have gone to a player vendor, somebody who got some from salvage, and bought them a lot cheaper because they take a lot of resources to make, but oftentimes folks are just taking them off of the weapons that dropped off a mob. So an interesting system, maybe a little more useful and a little more relevant to people who craft, but certainly something that at one point or another probably everyone needs to know how to do: salvage up various weapons and gear and miscellaneous dropped items.